Welcome to another edition of Coming Into Being, and I will be with you in a minute after I type my message in. Okay, so coming into being. The reason I do this, hey, Ilaria, welcome. Uh, yes, see, this time you remembered. Yes, you had the right time. I know everybody's been kind of having a little bit off on time here and there. Um, So I just wanted to start by saying, the reason I do these little series coming into being on Wednesdays is it's about providing the space for people to come and really connect into themselves more deeply and take that time. And it's actually really restful time to do that. And most everybody is like really busy in their lives with all sorts of things that they need to do. So this is about providing the space for people to come and just relax, um, and chill and connect in more deeply. Have that space to do that. So I provide the space. I hold the space for people to do that, and then according to whatever shows up during the session, what people do, sometimes it'll take us in different directions. So some of these are about stillness. Some of them have been about really tuning into our skeletal structures, our change, and our bone structure, sorry, and really coming into ourselves. Part of coming into being is about coming into ourselves and owning ourselves. And what that means is it's about bringing our consciousness that has come into this physical form and owning this physical form. And the reason that we need to do that is because there's a lot of distortions that have come through either our family lineage, our DNA. So in our DNA, through past lives, through every experience that we've had that's got imprinted in our system and hasn't shifted. So when we have situations like that, there's imprints that are left energetically and frequency wise, and that affect, hey, hola, Ana. Um, and it affects the physical structure. It's like if you imagine, well, like a puzzle piece. So you have the shape of the puzzle, and it kind of, dents in at a certain area because it's denting in because there's been an imprint left on that particular area, with the frequency. So why that particular area? Well, let's say you were, you know, in another lifetime, for example, battle scene, and the throat got cut, like here. Let's just got a cut here. And the person is not able in that moment to shift through the experience and release it. And that can happen for different reasons. But let me jump ahead first. That gets imprinted into the energetic and frequencies levels of the spirit, the person's spirit, and anything that's non-physical, and the non-physical level. And then moving on to the next lifetime, that imprint is still there. So it's like it's formed a dent into the structure. And so what comes into that structure, that that there's that little shape of the puzzle, where it dents in, and normally you put a piece like that fits in together. And so when there's that imprint, well, what comes, this should be nice and flat, and it's not. And so that will strain the system and that can cause a lot of health issues, um, a lot of issues across all levels, the emotional, mental, physical level issues. Physical level meaning either physical health or material, what's in our material world, what we can bring in for ourselves, kind of thing. Hey, Elizabeth, it's been a while. I think you're on school break right now. Yeah, on summer vacation. Good to see you. Um, so that's basically what we come in and do, and by bringing our awareness into, so going with the lesson, the theme here of the cut on the throat, so bringing that awareness into the throat. So let's say that translates into today somebody having experienced that in another lifetime, or even somebody family line down the road has had that happen, and that gets transferred through the DNA. And so that can bring up issues where there's always this tightness on the stuff, having difficulty really expressing oneself. So health and physical issues, expression issues, for example, being able to speak correctly, speak loudly, speak well, speak what you want to speak, kind of thing. Um, and and so uh, bringing our consciousness, bringing our awareness into the area of the neck, so following the example, is that uh, it pushes what is not us, and so that imprint is not who you are. It's an imprint, it's an experience that the spirit had, but it's not the spirit, it's not who you are. And when I say who you are, I'm talking about the ultimate level of your being, not the human personality, because that's just sort of a suit that we put on in one lifetime, and that we, when we move on properly, we release and let go of, on our death. So let's get settled into our selves. Let's get settled into our environment. Take some time to just take some nice, slow, deep breaths. Slow your breathing down a little bit and just kind of look around you and pull yourself back from your environment. There a lot of times what happens is people tend to, when they're looking at something or connecting with somebody, they will just project their energy out, and you don't need to do that. That's not really good for you to do that, because it pulls you out of where you need to be. You need to be in this space, physical body, physical environment, and where your physical body is located in your physical environment. And this time, present moment, present time. So let yourself just kind of relax, and all the worries and concerns that you have that are coming up, just allowing those to just release it out with through the breath. So notice your physical environment around you. Feel yourself just really come into the center of your being. Really come into yourself, connect with yourself. Really, really come into yourself. Pull back even more. Imagine that you're just pulling in so that you're at the center of your body, you know. And you can do that with your eyes open, with your eyes closed. You just need to focus and kind of concentrate your awareness and your focus. Forget all the other stuff that's happening around you, other people. Because when you're worrying about somebody else, you're throwing your energy at them, basically. You're wrapping your energy around them. And so that causes a lot of problems. So really coming into the center, coming in the center of your head, pulling back. If you're having a hard time with your eyes open, you can, like, put your hands on your cheeks, feel your hands, feel yourself on that side of your hands. Not on this side, on that side, on the back side. Bring your awareness to the tactile impressions, the heat from your hands, a lot of heat transfer. See if you can feel, so if you have your hands on your cheeks, so there's that heat transfer. See if you can get a sense of the difference between your cheeks and your fingers. You have a sense of one being hotter than the other. And you can really lightly go back and forth. Feel your fingers against your cheek. Stay there for a moment. Now bring your awareness into your cheeks, feeling the pressure of your fingers against the cheek. Really allowing yourself to come in, again, coming into your body. So let's just close our eyes for a minute to really focus that concentration on that core channel. Oh, and really bringing yourself down to the pelvic girdle, your tailbone. So you can kind of focus in on the bone structure, the hips, the tailbone, the sacrum. There's that whole kind of pelvic floor girdle in the bone structure. And keep coming back to that if your mind keeps pulling you up, especially with worry. If you have teenage kids, you should be giving them more space to figure it out on their own. Kind of that delicate transition when they're really working to step out into their own, owning themselves fully and completely, and they're figuring out their own way. So if you're in there too much, it's gonna mess them up. And we're talking about being in there too much energetically. So it's a delicate balance, and being connected with someone, that there's that energetic presence you can have, but holding yourself within your body, not throwing yourself out there. So really feel that outline of the skin. If you can. So let's do this. Okay, everybody here. Start by coming into your body, really getting clear sense of skin level, your skin on your body, getting that sense of that shape. And if you're focusing on your head and neck, focus maybe torso level. And if you're struggling with that too much in your head, you can ask the questions like, why is it so hard to be in my body? Why am I resisting so much? It's your body. You're in it all the time. Why do you have to struggle so much to get out of your head? And there can be a lot of reasons, but bottom line is just pay attention to your body. So head, neck, feel your neck, feel the top of your shoulders, your upper torso, front and back. Notice what you're leaning against. Really come into that center. Don't come into your spine. Lean back against a pillow if you need to amplify that tactile information. Really just focus on yourself for a minute. Okay. Now think of somebody, whether it's your daughter or your son or somebody else. Just put your attention on them for a minute. See what that feels like. Now come back into your body. Bring your awareness back to your nose, tip of your nose, and see how long it takes you to pull back into your body. The longer it takes you for you to get back there, the more you threw yourself out at that person. It's that simple. That means you're way too out there. So, how do you think about somebody without throwing your energy out around them? Focus on your nose. Stay inside your body when you think about them. So it's like come into your body. Again, feel the awareness around you, around in your body. Feel pull back even further than you think you need to. And if you close your eyes, you kind of put your focus like right between your eyes, bridge of your nose. Bring yourself in, pull yourself back. It's going to feel like you're pushing into the back of your head. You're not, but it's going to feel that way because you're usually people who are thinking a lot are going to be in the front of their heads, not fully in towards the back. So imagine yourself looking through from, your awareness behind the bridge of your nose and looking from behind that. There might be a lot of resistance to pushing back because there's your system is so it is out of alignment. Energetically, you're out here instead of being aligned with your physical body. So that will create boundary issues. So coming in, imagine yourself again looking from behind the bridge of the nose. Stay right there. Keep feeling it being behind the bridge of that nose, and see if you can, from that place of staying kind of that awareness, staying centered in that place inside your body, bring your attention up. Bring your awareness in your awareness, that person up in your awareness. Think of that person. And you might be feeling yourself trying to pull out, you might be noticing a lot more that you're trying to pull out, but because I'm really bringing you to keep in mind being centered in your body, you're noticing it. It's like when you think of that person, the thought is at the center of your head instead of like moving your energy out there. So if you had a sense of that, just feel free to post a comment on there on here. Share your experience on that one. There's a lot of ways that people go like this, throw themselves around. So it's not really good for you. It's not productive for you or for your connections with people or whatever. And you've got LR, you've got some clearing up to do around relationship. So your lower abdomen is well, it still needs a lot of clearing. So, and that might not take a lot of time, but there's stuff in there that needs to clear out. I'm not going to get into what, but I can see it in there. So bringing your awareness down into that lower abdomen, and I know you've been working on that because you've had that hip thing going on. Yeah, actually, that's an area. Yeah, I see that. And you've got a lot of stuff going on in the lower abdomen too. It's almost like it's screaming at you or screaming. And let's see, Elizabeth. You're kind of wavering in that, but at your age, that's there's a lot of exploration of self that's unfolding for you. So that doesn't feel like it's too far off. However, the part where we can all always improve on is about that self-love for ourselves. So self-love, real simple. Come in and focus, bring your awareness on yourself. So pick any area you want to work on. Um, those of us who are on the call here have brought up who I'm seeing on the call. So there's other people watching, but unless you say hi in the chat, then I don't have um, you. I can't. I'm not going to refer to you directly. Um, bring so you can put your hands on your lower belly, below your belly button, and give yourself that tactile reinforcement for connecting and for feeling that area. And breathe into that area. So a lot of pain that's kind of hiding in there. And the pain is because there's just distortions, that because your awareness is not, your consciousness is not fully in that area. There's stuff that's in the way. So if your consciousness is not fully in an area, then that opens the door for all sorts of things. So breathing and breathing into that area. With your breath, making your hands go, pushing against your hands, as pushing them away from the center. Let yourself just breathe into that area. A lot of some emotions are coming up for people. Yeah. Maybe some loneliness or not quite sure what to do, not quite sure what to do with yourself, kind of thing. Not knowing who you are, and when we're growing into ourselves, there's a lot of not knowing who we are. And actually, all of us, regardless of age, we're all growing into ourselves even more, so that's always a development, something that's under development. Yeah, this is good. There's a lot of stuff coming up for people here. So just breathe into that. Breathe into that area and just breathe in to whatever you're feeling that's coming up for you. If you feel sadness, if you feel frustration, if you feel whatever you're feeling, pain, do your best to stay present with it, to not pull into your head, to not go somewhere else. And if you do, because it just happened faster than you could notice it, take a deep breath in, hold it, and then slowly release it out. As you release, just bring your awareness back down into that lower abdomen. A lot of pain. Pain more like suffering, pain, not necessarily physical. And there's some physical level pain that's coming through. There's also more kind of the emotional, mental pain and suffering at that level. Wow. Wow, this is a hot topic here, hot item today. There's a lot coming up for people. Just keep breathing into that. This is coming back to loving yourself, connecting with yourself, loving yourself. This is the way to do it. Very simple, very simple, and also just very, very hard to do because we start feeling all the stuff that when we're pulled into our heads, that's what we're feeling. But coming back down. So holding that awareness there best as you can. Letting yourself know it's okay to be in whatever state you're in that's coming up. Breathe into that, and I'll help you shift the stuff here. Open that up, release that out. God, some of this feels like metal. Metal, like shards metal. I don't know what you would call that, but yeah, like shards, but that are metal. Like if you were to cut a tin, a can with the ragged edges, that's what some of this stuff feels like. So pretty nasty, pretty hard, pretty painful. And when we put our attentions on somebody else, sometimes it's just, oh, Anna, yeah. uh, yeah, I did mention you before, but let's see what else comes up. It felt like you you were getting screamed at, or something. There's just that part that's screaming in there. I think I know you love all your children, but I think that some of the children, the situations that brought about the children that you have is what is screaming. That's the part of you that's screaming that went through that. So it's not the child itself, it's the condition under which the child was conceived. You know, not all of them. Mm, Let's see, maybe well, I'll let you kind of look at that one for yourself. because I think a lot of times you were just in kind of that desperation, there was that desperation in you, so that was coming through. Doesn't make for a good environment. Back to Elizabeth. So Elizabeth, just really fill yourself up. Just love, just bring appreciation for yourself as you have your awareness into your lower abdomen there. Just appreciation. We can all do this, but this is kind of specifically you because you've got a lot of things that are shifting that are, kind of reorienting, forming, and then you kind of shift them. It's very pliable. Your system, in other words, your system is very pliable. So bring in some good stuff. Really focus on that appreciation and love. And just you can just feel into that, feel love, feel joy, bring it into that area. You can also just say, I'm a wonderful person. You're great. Or you can, as if you're talking to yourself, you're Elizabeth, you're just great. You're a fantastic person. Saying that to yourself. You can hear it from like me, like I just said it, but saying it to yourself anchors it in. And Ilaria, I mean, you're still going through and part of what's coming up for you is this struggle to really define yourself. You're having a hard time with that, so it's kind of going out to your kids, that worry out to your kids. So it's kind of a compensation factor. I know you know what I mean with that. Dancing the Bloom. Hello, Kayla. I'm here hanging out as well. I was on the way out the door, but was so tired I just laid on the floor. Yeah, good one. Good one. Yes. Yes. So there we go. Too tired for I'm just yeah, so that's the problem with your kids, like your son eating too much. I mean, that's a big problem. Your panic attacks from your daughter. So whenever you notice your awareness going out to them when there's really no reason, if they've been in an accident, okay, and you just heard about it, that's one thing. But if your son's sitting there and he's eating too fast, pull into yourself. Really kind of really latch on to that, focusing on what you're and really latch on, it's like focus on what your fingers are doing, what your hands are, what you're chewing in your mouth. Just latch on to that when you notice that stuff. So it's that smothering is about just not having a hard time finding your identity, finding who you are, so yeah, it's just part of the process. Yeah, Kayla, I can feel that tiredness, so hearing the creaking of the shutters getting closed down below me. I had to look. It's like maybe it was my shutter that wasn't hinged very well. So let me shift you what you're saying, Ilaria. Just go into your body. So the holding space, I want to clarify that because holding space, when you say that, does not feel like really coming into your body. It's like you're trying to wrap yourself around your physical body instead of coming into your physical body. Come into your physical body. You've got a lot of resistance with coming into the physical body. So there's a lot of stuff in there. And that's making you resist going in there, but you got to go in there and push it out. So uh, not leaking your energy to others. Yeah. Not throwing it out at others. I'll put it that way too. um, So holding space, yeah, I mean, I just wanna, because that holding space can be just kinda wrapping yourself around that person, but really focus on, around yourself. Focus holding space by coming into your body and having your awareness, your consciousness on your physical body. Well, there's a lot of different, what, issues, understanding what holding space means, yeah. Um There's a lot of different ways of looking at it, but for yourself, because we're talking about you and yourself, do that by bringing your awareness into yourself, into your physical body, feeling your physical body. What do your upper arms feel like? Really feel it. What does your throat feel like? And you can go into all these, well, it feels like I'm choking, it feels like that, it feels like I can't, feel like crying, whatever it is, just come into that and let yourself just feel it without explaining it, without defining it, just like, ugh, what color is it? What shape is whatever's in there? Give it a shape. Feel into the shape, feel into the texture, feel into whatever color, what color comes to mind. What's below that? Go in deeper, go in deeper. And so for all of us, let's see, Kayla, back to Kayla. Yeah, it's interesting because so I'm getting this image of you just horizontal, like relaxing, and yet you don't feel tired. But I think it's not so much about being tired, but just taking that time to just yourself, because there's a lot of activity around you, and just kind of in that stillness, and in that stillness, lying down. Um, just to help rest that back, relax that back more. There's a way when you're lying down that it helps your spine. It can help your spine kind of just realign because everything's dropping down this way instead of dropping through the spine. Like the spine being like this, so it's going like that instead of like this, and the pressure of the spine going down all the way to the lower abdomen. So lying flat, and you can either have your knees bent or your legs bent up or your legs straight, depending on what that pressure is on the lower abdomen. If it's too much pressure to have your legs straight out, then bring your knees up and feet on the floor. Yeah. Okay. Take a nice deep breath in. Hold it. And then gently release it. And as you release it, come back into that area. And just inhale through the mouth and exhale out the mouth with each breath for some breaths. And just feel yourself just releasing whatever needs to be released. Yeah. Clearing. Let's just clear all of this out. Yeah, opening up that floor. that pelvic floor. A lot of times, even when we're sitting or standing, um, it's like the legs it can get kind of cut off energetically, even when we're standing. So allow yourself to kind of push into your legs. You're bringing your awareness down into your legs as well as that lower abdomen. I kind of feel like you're blowing up a balloon, you know, lower abdomen. As you blow up that balloon, in that part of the body, it's pushing into the legs, all the way through the legs. That balloon's just extending out as you blow into it, into all your feet, on through the all the way to the toes. So much better. Everybody looks a bit brighter. So Kayla, just a thought. Just kind of consider looking at who you're carrying on your shoulders. If you're taking anyone on your shoulders, in other words, carrying them. I think that's probably why you need to be lying flat to give that spine a rest. Okay. Yeah, just check in with yourselves, everybody, right now, and just kind of take a deep breath and look around, look at your environment. Now come back into yourself and notice how you feel now. How that has shifted. Everybody's calmer. Or it might not be, for Kayla, it might not be people, but it might be like responsibilities, um, stuff you need done, kind of thing. Um, also, so carrying that as a burden, you're carrying it on your shoulders. Okay. Anna and Elizabeth, how you guys doing? I've been kind of wondering about you, Anna, what you've been up to. How you've been doing with your adventures. God. Well, I'm sorry. I'm laughing because it's like, yeah. Kayla says, yeah, that makes absolute sense. So many things feel like I have to constantly do, and our house still stays a wreck like when I was growing up. Ah, good point. Good point. So, I mean, you've got, all right, now they're 5 and 8, right? I keep wanting to say 3 and 6, but 5 and 8, dude, you're going to have a lot of stuff all over the place. I cried a bit during the session. Okay, good release. Someone trying to get to my head Working on keeping my space. Yeah, and so Anna, when you feel that, you can also just in your head say, "No," just say it in your head. Say, "No, get out of here. This is my space." I think you know who that someone is too. And just make that, say whatever you need to in your head, meaning, internally, you don't have to say it out loud. Um, 'Cause that, yeah, and be fierce about it. So sometimes that working on your space is a little, you're kind of soft with it because of stuff that you've experienced in your life, and you don't want other people to suffer. But in this kind of situation, no, absolutely not. You get as fierce as you need to be because that's your space. It's not being respected, and somebody's trying to manipulate you and dominate you. So, tell them to fuck off, basically, because and so there's no being nice about it. Is what I'm saying. So Elizabeth, that's good. It's good to release stuff because that will help you to go through your defining yourself process better when you release stuff instead of keeping it in or holding it back or feeling other people's stuff. There's some of that is in there with you for you, you know. So one thing to do is just ask yourself when you feel something, ask yourself, this is for everybody, is this me or is this someone else? And just see what comes up, what feel. And if you're not sure, then say, okay, let's just assume it's both. So just let's release what is not mine and let's heal what is mine and release it, kind of thing. Yeah. Yeah, get firm with it, Anna. Get firm with it. And with the sensitivity that you have, literally again, say it in your head. And Ilaria, you can do this too for when you need to. All of you, actually, all of you are in this boat. You can feel that stuff at that non-physical level in your space, and so connect with it at that level and say, "No, get the fuck out of here." And project it out. So if you feel like it's in here, if you have a sense of a shape or whatever, or a person, just see them across the room from you. See that thing, that the way you're seeing it in here, and see it across the room. So project it out to across the room, move it out. Throw them across the room, in other words. So that's a way of creating boundaries for yourself when you need to get that abrupt, and you have to go. You're going to have to go through that process, Anna. And Ilaria, that this is also for you too. Kayla, we've kind of worked on it, and Elizabeth, Elizabeth, that would be good for you to learn to just be really clear about your space. This is this you're at an age where you just need to start doing that and learning that, and coming into that strong woman that you are in the working towards being. Okay, everybody looks a lot brighter, a lot clearer. So very good. We have our ply group that's going on. Uh, Gosh, we just started that. It's so funny. I have to think for a minute because we had such a long month in May, and then we have our anchor group um, coming up on Sunday for those of us who are joining in that. So good to see everybody, and next Wednesday again coming into being. So um, thank you for all for stopping by. Those who said hello on the chat, those who I know, and I can see there's more people who are watching, but uh, I just have the names of those who are on the chat. So always nice to have people say hi in the chat and check in. So good to see everybody. And until next time, we'll see you in the ethers. Until we see you in person, online, wherever. Until next time. All right. Take care, everybody.